here, and wow, it's already Friday. It has been extremely crazy for me for the past few days. As you guys know, I've been busy helping out Refinable project launch, and that was just a roller coaster ride. I think it's a situation where, like, okay, I have a confession. I wanted to go to a theme park to get on some roller coaster rides because I was just like, I need some adrenaline. But that launch was like, it was more thrilling or more crazy. Like that's probably the better word for it than a roller coaster ride. It was yeah, it had some really low points. It had some good points, but it's all about making sure people understand the product, and that was the hard part throughout all this insanity. So, anyways, I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. I'll go recap about it, but let's take a look at the markets as well. I mean, the markets has just been crazy this week with Ethereum rocking up to all-time highs yet again. Like I cannot express how happy I am. I mean, you guys know I have a big bag of ETH, and I'm a big believer in what this whole space is building out to be and the extensions of where it is, right? Because Bitcoin started off with sound money, but what Ethereum is doing and what this whole, not just Ethereum, but this whole decentralized smart contract space is doing is they're really changing finance. They're changing not just finance, but also NFTs and everything. So the mission parameters have definitely drastically changed, and that's for the better because there's a lot of disruption that's necessary in this space. So I'm pretty excited. We'll talk about the markets today. So we'll talk about the markets. We'll talk about Ethereum breaking some records. We also have some really good news with regulation coming out of Germany that we'll talk and touch about. So we'll do a news segment, and then we have some announcements, and we have some upcoming projects that I'm looking at that are super exciting, and I hope you guys can really enjoy this ride with me. It's been absolutely crazy. We've got some comedy too. So anyways, stay packed for that. Also, guys, make sure you guys are a subscriber. Recently, we're doing a new series that's coming up. It's called Crypto with Friends. And this is something that is, I just want to be super casual. I want it to be fun and exciting. And last episode, it was the first time we did this with Crypto with Friends series. This is with John Kerr from Genesis Block. It was with Jeff Kerdakis from Trustswap. It was me and Nathan from Cryptonauts. And yeah, it was a super exciting episode. We're trying out testing out some new tech and everything, and we're just like casually discussing cryptocurrencies, discussing what we like, what we don't like, and it offers like a lot of breadth. It offers a lot of wider ideas that's coming through, and I thought that was really great for this channel. So I hope you guys can stay tuned for that. The best way to do it is to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. The time for these streams have not been set yet. So it's a new concept. It's an absolute new idea. So just, if you see that pop up, smash it, like it. That's the way it works. Yeah, and it really does help. So make sure you guys do that. That's going to be the fun part of this. And then we'll eventually settle on a good time for everyone that's good. And, that'll be the fun part. So anyways, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the thumbs up button. And let's get this show started. All right. So let's start off with this. Okay. So let's start off with the markets first and foremost. So yeah, lots and lots of green over the past week, right? So you definitely saw Ethereum shooting up. Binance Coin is all the way up to 600 again. Bitcoin is staying relatively steady. So it's a situation where Bitcoin this time hasn't aggressively rallied. And this is a situation where Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin at this current point. And this is very likely due to the fact that Ethereum, a lot of people discuss stuff. Can't really pronounce words today, but they're discovering Ethereum for the first time. And when you first look at it, it's very confusing, right? I mean, I still remember the first videos I did. It's like I called it Ethereum. Hey, Ethereum guys, this thing seems interesting. Well, maybe not. I have no idea what it is. Well, the whole idea of smart contracts, smart money, it takes a little bit of time to wrap your heads around. But once you start seeing the developments that are being done in the space, the fact that you can create a new product, right? Something completely new, a new decentralized finance product, a new lending platform, a new maybe even an insurance platform. And the moment you create it, within a week, there can be something like $1 billion value locked inside. That is the insane part about crypto, right? The fact that you can instantly get money from the entire community, you can lock in value, and you can also, of course, deploy that capital. That's been the insane part about crypto. It moves a lot faster than every single banking space. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of mishaps along the way. That's something to watch out for. But I still remember my chat with Rashid from AllianceBlock. He comes from the traditional banking scene, and he's been working for 10 years in traditional banking, right? BNP Paribas, and he's been deploying products there. He's been on the tech side of stuff, and the amount of regulation in that space is insane, which is great. But it also slows down development. It drastically slows down everything. And the worst part about traditional banking is that the traditional institutions that have been around for a long time, the ones that have banking licenses, well, they have a pretty much monopoly over the entire space, which is why there's no innovation. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of the reason why people are looking at Ethereum. Obviously, this week as well, Doge is just like insane. The amount of TikTok videos that I've seen on Dogecoin was crazy. I think what also deserves a shout out for me is also Polygon. Polygon is up 159% this week overall. I think it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we had Sandeep from MATIC / Polygon, right? You guys know it's a rebranded. Polygon is rebranded MATIC, and he explained a lot of the stuff that's going on. And the moment people start realizing that, boom, that's when things just explode. So yeah, definitely deserves a shout out. And he's a smart guy, right? We just like MATIC is like, and we got waves moving up too. Like this past week has been just insane for crypto, and I hope everyone's staying safe. Obviously, like this is when we're reaching some insane heights. Like if you look at the 7-day here, you're seeing double digits, not just double digits, triple digits, right, on these coins. And obviously that does ring some alarm bells. I'll be honest with you. Like once you start seeing these numbers, I mean, if you look at page 2, it's even crazier, right? You got okay, you got Prometheus, which is now up like 742%. Then you got PancakeSwap, which is kind of like PancakeSwap's brother or little brother. That's up like 200%. IOTEX, Syscoin, Alien World is up, Injective is up. So crazy doesn't really, it doesn't even begin to describe how insane this market is becoming. And we've seen that in 2017. And there's two kind of mentalities around this, right? Like when you see something like this, you're going to initially be like, oh my God, this is crazy. And one of the words to heed, obviously, is just be fearful when everyone is greedy. So I've definitely seen there's a lot more greed on the market. And this is where I'm prepared to lose everything, right? This is just like, I know this is in the most dangerous part about crypto. But at the same time, right, I showed you guys this before, which is the Bitcoin rainbow chart, right? The rainbow chart of where we are at, so the one that is quite important is the altcoin season. So, everyone's looking at these alts right now. And altcoin season chart, we've been looking at this for a long while, right? We've been seeing, like, I've been talking about this ever since March, and earlier I'm saying, look, we're going to go up to 100% here. Altcoins are going to have their time. And when it hit 100, obviously at that time, I was like, okay, look, this is a time where I have to decide if I'm going to take profits or not. Because we know altcoin cycles is a very cyclic in nature. So in the even last summer, right, during the whole DeFi wave, we saw the altcoin cycle really peaking, and it didn't peak for very long before it just crashed down. It came tumbling down, and a lot of coins lost a lot of value. It was savage, right? So this is something that I'm absolutely prepared for in the cryptocurrency space, and especially in the altcoin space, I'm absolutely prepared for a total wipeout disaster. But at the same time, I told you guys I'm not selling at that point. Right, I took very little profits, like very, very tiny, maybe 10, 15% profits on some certain coins. Others, I didn't take profits. Why? Well, because this altcoin cycle can go to some insane level. So if you look all the way back in 2017, it literally broke the charts, right? And towards the last few days, like towards the last few kind of like the last few weeks of an altcoin cycle, that is when things become crazy, right? This is when you get the 100% gains per day, and it continues for a while, right? So yes, it's extremely dangerous, and yes, I am extremely controlling my risk. I told you guys this before as well, where I segment my portfolio into the long hodls, which are on top, the medium term hodl, like the medium hodls, the medium bags I have, and then of course the extreme stuff is the altcoin stuff, the smaller altcoins, which I am extremely, risk controlling that. But obviously it is the best performing portfolio. It is absolutely just insane. I mean, did I get into MATIC? Yes, I did. Like there was a situation where I didn't like MATIC for a while because they seem to be very pumpy. I kind of avoid coins that are very pumpy. And what happened was that as I slowly talked to Sandeep, someone convinced me to go on a call with Sandeep. I realized, oh my God, this guy is onto something. Even though it's at that time it was like 20 cents and it felt like it's an all-time high, right? This was a situation where I did enter, and I said, guys, I'm gonna change my view, and it's not too late. I'm not gonna. If my view was wrong, I'm not gonna just like stick to it. I actually talked to Sandeep, and he was good, right? And at that time, like if you think about it, right? So it was at this time. At that time, it felt like crazy buying into MATIC, right? Because like look at it. It was at 1 cent in December, right? And then now it's at 21 cents. Like you must be crazy to go into something like this, right? Like I thought I would be crazy, but I still took a position because I thought, what, this guy, if you watch the interview, he knew what he was talking about. And in fact, I think he was a little bit camera shy because like when you talk to him off camera, like we were both like circling each other. Like, like when we were talking, we're both like circling each other. I'm like, I'm testing how much he knows. He's testing me how much I know. And then we're like figuring out how much each other knows about crypto and about the scaling solutions in this space. And then like, it was very interesting. It was great. And that was when I said, you know what, if you can do this, right, I'm going to take a position. And yeah, it paid off. So, like yeah, so going to now it's at 90 cents. I mean that's pretty insane. So I think that's what I'm looking for in the space. It felt like crazy. I felt like crazy at that time. I like there was a certain period of time where I thought to myself, like, why am I buying someone else's 100x bags, right? Like I was like, okay. But at the end of the day, I just really thought, this guy performed super well. He knew what he was talking, and if they can build, like, I think this quote really rang out to me, and this is a quote that one of my friends said. He said, if scams can make $1 billion, smart people can make trillions in this space, right? I think that's important to know. Like super smart people, like if you guys are following some serious narratives going on, like the Solana narrative right now, guys know that Sam Bankman-Fried is pushing that super hard. You guys know that FTX performed super crazy well. You guys know that Binance did super well. Like these are projects that are good and they can perform well. So I guess that's my long-winded way of saying and relaying some of my experience here. So I feel like so bringing that back into this whole topic of altcoins, I still feel like the altcoins are just getting started, especially I feel like one of the biggest reasons why is right now you see so much activity on TikTok. Like this is some new space. Crypto was never on TikTok, and now we see like these infinite numbers of videos on. It's kind of getting a little bit crazy. It's good and bad. Obviously, it's good that new people are getting into crypto, but some people really have no idea what they're talking about. And this is a time where we have to be responsible and start educating people the right way, right? Tell them about the risks. It's boring to talk about risks, but anyways, new batch of people coming in. I feel like this cycle can last, but I'm prepared for major catastrophes along the way, especially there. So let's take a look at the charts as well. So what's happening on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So right now on Bitcoin, you guys know that the support came in, right? On the 3rd of May, not the 3rd of May, 26th of April. So this is on the 1-day charts for Bitcoin. You can definitely see that strong support coming in at $49,000. Obviously, we didn't really recover. It wasn't a very strong U-shaped recovery. So Bitcoin is still lagging a little bit behind. It seems like ETH is definitely stealing some of the thunder. You can see for ETH, the performance is just completely the opposite, right? ETH did not drop heavily. during that time. It did show its support, and the moment that support hit, right, the moment that it hit the support line, boom, it just shot up. It shot up and it blew past the resistance that was at $2,500. So 2,500, they just couldn't hold ETH back, right? Like I was saying earlier, with all this innovation in decentralized finance, people looking at what is happening here, like there's no holding back this, right? So this is kind of the situation that we're seeing. So right now, of course, the dangerous part is we don't really see where the kind of resistance really is. We basically, it might be here, but it might be a little bit higher, right? It could be that $3,000 will be a psychological barrier. That might be the next big point at which, Ethereum stops moving. But yes, it has moved up. And what's going to happen is that the previous resistance here, right? So we saw at 2,500, that's going to become the support line for Ethereum. Although, of course, we don't know how strong that support line will be. So this is where, yet again, the market is moving into a new territory. We have not yet tested, all right, to see how strong that support at 2,500 is going to be. So we're in this new area. We don't know how strong this resistance is, and we don't know how strong the support is. This is a very much of a adventurous time for us all here. So obviously, you guys know that the markets are extremely brittle to news as well. That's what we saw last week, and you can expect a lot of volatility going forward at this point. I think that's just like obvious at this current point. But one thing I do want to say is brace yourself. Something that really worked for me in 2017 was you look at all the potential reasons for why Bitcoin will fall, right? You prepare yourself for that first. It's like psychologically you're bracing for it. Maybe there's going to be FUD from miners, right? Like maybe some FUD people say, oh, mining is centralized in China. Like that always seems to prop up. Or maybe some heavy regulation is going to come and hit a lot of cryptocurrency companies, right? You're bracing yourself for potential points of impact. The reason why you do that is when that news hits and when the crypto falls, you know that this is something you expected. Right? This is what helps in volatility times, at least for me, not financial advice, obviously, but at least for me, it helps because I won't be caught off guard, right? Because sometimes what happens is that when the markets fall, like what they did just a week ago, right? Just a week ago, the markets just completely plummeted. You just see, like, back in the day, if it looks like this, right? If it just looks like this, markets are going down. You see all that news on the miners being centralized in China, hash rate is dropping. Maybe you don't even know what hash rate even is, right? That's going to create fear. And that's why people sell at these bottoms, right? People are start selling at this point. Oh my God, it's all going down. And you see, then the worst part is you see some traders say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 30,000. Ha ha ha. And then of course, the next day, like, this always happens. This always happens, and it's a rough ride. And that's the little tidbit I have to help myself. It's the knowledge of being prepared for whatever FUD can come, and that always helps. That always helps a lot. So anyway, so that's kind of the markets and what we're seeing now. But we're also, of course, that's the main players right now. I feel like right now it's gonna be it's still altcoin season time. So that's what I'm spending most of my time on. Obviously, looking at altcoins, investing in the space. I think it just makes logical sense. It's absolutely crazy. Smash up your likes. I'll definitely want to look into other coins as well. I think this week I spent a lot of, like I said, let me relate my experience as well. So I spent a lot of time this week helping Refinable launch. I mean, they built a good product, right? This is a situation where they were building super hard. And I guess, because I followed them for a long time, I knew that was happening, right? Because they had to have multiple interview rounds with Binance, right? Like you guys probably saw there was Binance investment into Refinable, and that was not easy. Like literally Binance just grilled them on everything, right? Like it was like, oh, what's your backend like? What's your code like on the backend? Okay, what's your front end? Show me a demo. Okay, make it look prettier. And then like there were multiple rounds of this stuff. It was insane, right? It was insane to secure that interest, to build Binance's interest, to become about the Binance Smart Chain fund. That was what they were fighting for the longest period of time. And then, of course, towards the launch, people were excited. And when the launch happened, obviously the price just shot up like crazy because the bots and stuff just completely ruined it for everyone, right? It was just a total mess. So like that was a tragic to see, right? Like this weekend, I was like, I saw that launch. I was like, it was tragic because the coin launched at 3 cents, right? 3.28 cents. That's what launched that. But the bots just like drove it up, and then Binance Smart Chain got super slow, and then a lot of people just like dove straight into it. It was crazy. But the good news, obviously, is that the FUD is dying down a lot. The launch was definitely not clean. It was like unclean will be an understatement. Like, I completely understand the confusion and the insanity going on, but the product itself, like what I was saying throughout this whole situation, was the product itself is super solid. And it was such a shame because like what I also saw with the Refinable launch was that there were intentional groups of people trying to FUD it even more. We saw people that were trying to take advantage of the situation and bring them to their own project and say, oh, Refinable is a pump and dump. It's not. It's got a seriously strong product backing it behind it, right? A lot of it's being built and a lot of it's going to come very, very soon. So anyways, it was super disappointing. It was pretty upsetting actually to see so much shade being thrown. But the good news, obviously, is that we're having a little bit of recovery. I still say that we're still in the price discovery phase. Like, this is where some of the insane volatility is at this current point. But I feel like a lot more people are looking at the product now. All right, they're looking at where it's going, where this NFT space is going, and what they're doing. And I think that's a lot more valuable at this current point. So anyways, that's my take on it right now. So we got Rob Crypto saying smash those likes, guys. Please do smash the likes. It really does help the channel. And honestly, I had a lot of support as well. Like a lot of people, like even Jeff Kardakis, we came on, and it was totally on like I didn't want to throw the whole Refinable launch thing at him because I started this like crypto and friends episode to just talk about crypto, and Jeff gave some really strong words of encouragement. Don't look at these haters. Really stay strong, make a good product. And I feel like it was a situation where he was really positive, and it's like this is a situation where like I'm really thankful for all the friends and this whole community as well. You guys have been super supportive as well throughout this whole time, and I really appreciate that. So it means a lot. Like you finally find who believes and who doesn't believe. And I think who really deserves a shout out here is Superman as well. It was a situation, Superman believed in Refinable. I talked to him about it before, and he made a video talking about why he's still bullish. And for someone to do this, it's really hard. I think you guys don't understand how hard it is because you get so much hate in your comments, right? Especially if you're defending something that isn't doing super well at a certain given time. Like it's extremely hard. It's something that a lot of influencers, especially a lot of the weak influencers, they are content creators, whatever you want to call people who make content in the space, they just back away from. Right? They're all fun and happy when the project's doing well and they can make a buck out of it. But when things aren't going well, like they just scram. But Superman was different. I totally respect him for that. Like he came up, stepped up, and said, you know what? I still believe in it. I'm still bullish in it, and that really means a lot. Like that's when like people aren't full of crap. Like that's when it. That's when people aren't like just posers, right? So. Anyways, super massive respect for that. Cryptogram, thank you for your donation. Says Rob said like but forgot subscribe and hit that bell icon. Yes, guys, do that. So anyways, that's my recap of Refinable launch. There's still a lot more. Like the team has been working super hard. Like I've been forcing them to work hard. Like you cannot believe how hard they are working right now. It's like literally. Like some members have not slept for 2 days, like nonstop. There's just like no sleep for 2 days on this. So they're working super hard. And the key here is that, I'm pushing them to deliver a product that can make this community proud. That's the objective, right? That is what they need to do. They need to dominate. And, just to throw this into there too, not this one. So Binance NFT is also launching soon. So Binance, there are competitors now for the NFT space on Binance Smart Chain. So what Refinable is it's it's a marketplace, right, for NFTs, and it's on Binance Smart Chain, and there's no dominant one yet. Now, Binance also announced the Binance NFT platform, and that is going to be a competitor. But I think there's a lot of ways to work together as well. I think this place is like, something that CZ always said is that competition is good. And not just competition, but collaboration between things that are seemingly competitors, right? So Binance launched their NFT marketplace. It's going to have a different tone. It's going to have a different angle from Refinable. And it's going to drive both teams to work ultra hard, right? This is space. There's still a lot of ground to cover. And it's good. It's good. Like the competition, like I want to acknowledge that. That's like, and the funny thing, of course, is that they announced it on the day of Refinable's launch. I think that was almost intentional, as if trying to steal a little bit of Refinable's thunder, acknowledging how strong Refinable is. So, anyways, it was announced on the same day. But that's good. It's like, that's a compliment, right? When your competitors try to announce and try to steal your thunder, that's a compliment to know that you're really there. And at the same time, Binance also, of course, gave a lot of highlights. I mean, Nick was on the Binance stream, and then also Binance Smart Chain blog actually featured us yesterday as well. So that's great. Of course, full disclosure, I'm an advisor for Refinable. I'm trying to push them super hard and to really make sure that they dominate this space. That's pretty much my goal here. Anyways, moving on to the news segment. So I think apologies for covering what was important to me before the news segment, but the news segment is important. Let's move on to that. So what's happening on the news? First and foremost, Germany is allowing institutional funds to invest in crypto. This seems to be a repeating theme throughout pretty much the whole entirety of this year, right? So another thing I just want to bring up today as well, just in relation to institutional investment, company investment, Tesla's at Q1 SEC filings reveals that they have $2.8 billion of Bitcoin, right? So this is the current trend. Companies, large institutions are trying to get into crypto, and the regulators are figuring a way to make this possible. Right, and this isn't just with Germany. So Germany's new law, right? This new law will permit over 4,000 institutional funds to gain exposure to cryptocurrencies. It could spark mass crypto adoption in Europe's largest economy for over the next few years. So what they're doing is they're allowing these fund managers to have as much as 20% of the crypto portfolio in cryptocurrencies. Man, I would have not have imagined that this day would come, right? This day, it's such a big move, right? Before, all these institutions were anti-crypto, don't touch crypto, right? All these governments were like, don't touch crypto, that's suicide. But now they're like, oh yeah, you can go up to 20% of your portfolio in crypto. Enjoy. So yeah, So let's see how this goes. The other big change is China as well, something that isn't very covered in Western media, but Chinese companies are very, very heavily getting into crypto. I mean, Meitu started that first. And then you've been seeing that there's a mad scramble this entire year. And I'll try to dig up a summary for you guys very soon. But the kind of the talk right now, especially if you're in Asia, the talk right now is like, how do you allow institutions to onboard into crypto, especially in China? And yeah, like I would have, I would have never thought this day would come, or at least come this soon, right? This is like barely 3 years since 2017, and it's arriving sooner than it is. So definitely something to look forward to. Germany, Tesla's up there. We also have the Binance Marketplace. Let's see what else we have there. So, but of course, let's balance that positive news with some negative news. So DeFi hacks, right? This will be the biggest barrier and biggest fear. And this is why a lot of people will probably, like a lot of funds will probably stay away from DeFi for a time being because it looks scary, right? So you have statistics like this where DeFi hacks and exploits have caused a total of $285 million of losses since 2019. I think that's an understatement. I think it's probably more if you account for the prices of cryptocurrencies going up. The most recent one is $50 million off URANIUM. It seems like every week we're getting like 20, 30 million. This is on the Binance Smart Chain, and URANIUM finance, I guess, is as toxic as uranium, the metal, because yeah, $50 million was just taken away. And this was something that, like I did a deep dive into. All right. So what was happening was that they had a version 2.0 of their smart contract, which was safe. And they told their community to upgrade to version 2.1, which had a major exploit that allowed $50 million of community funds to be stolen, right? So if there are people depositing in uranium, well, they would be pretty nuked by now. Like, that's the unfortunate side effect. Luckily, I wasn't there. I think it was a situation where I was too busy, like with everything else. I didn't touch uranium, but this is something to be a little bit careful of. In terms of analysis, the code side, it seemed to be to do with a very small bit of code that allowed the hacker to basically bleed everything. And the crazy thing is, as I was talking to a programmer friend about this, that this type of exploit, this certain type of exploit, was almost found in PancakeSwap. All right. This was, you know how PancakeSwap had a stalled migration? They stalled their migration, and there was a bug in their version 2 contracts, right? So if you look at Exchange, and there was a like a version 2 that was not deployed, right? That almost had a similar bug. So this is a situation in crypto where you have to be extremely, extremely careful. They'll never admit to it. I think PancakeSwap will never admit to it. But their version 2 that they abandoned, that they stalled their launch for, had some certain bugs in it. So I would say, in crypto, do be a little bit cautious. What I'm going to do tonight is that we're going to do there's a Clubhouse chat with guys from Hacken. So it's a GBV Clubhouse chat. We're going to talk a little bit more about safety and security in this space. I think it's just it sounds like the most boring thing to talk about, security and safety, but I think it's quite quite important at this point. It's probably an understatement, but yeah, it's quite important to make people aware that that security is necessary, it's important. And because in crypto there's no such thing as like reversing a hack, right? If a hack happens, it happens, and there's no, there isn't enforcement to really stop that from happening. Like, unlike in traditional finances, like you can call the cops and they'll freeze accounts and they'll freeze like layers of accounts to stop crime from happening. In crypto, a lot of times, like if you look at the case with uranium, what they did was that the hackers managed to bridge those funds from Binance Smart Chain, move it from using AnySwap onto Ethereum. And then once it's on Ethereum, they also used a mixer to mix those funds up. So they use Tornado Cash to mix those funds. So now it's actually almost impossible for anyone to try to track and for law enforcement to stop these funds from getting stolen. It's considered stolen, but at this current point. So, anyways, yeah, it's pretty bad. Harvey Ream says safety and security is boring. Really, it is to a lot of people. It is. I think people are used to how brain dead they can be in traditional finance, because like if there's ever a big problem, like if you have a credit card fraud event, your bank can take care of you. Right, you can report it to fraud department, and there's law enforcement that can deal with these issues. And then a lot of times you can get your money back because, it's fraud. Someone stole your credit card. But in crypto, there's no such thing as like a bank you can call to help with you. So, anyways, there's a talk tonight at 8 p.m. Hong Kong time from GenesisBlock, and it's me, Dima from Hacken, and John from GenesisBlock. So yeah, that's coming up today. I just want to show you guys, but I have no idea where the thread is, but I'll find it for you guys soon. I'll post it here and share that with you guys. So that's today's stuff. So anyways, DeFi hacks, uranium, man, that was not relatively unpleasant. There's some suspicion that the developer leaked information. There's definitely some suspicion there. Obviously, there's no proof of this, but yeah, this is something that I'm going to follow very, very soon. All right. Next up for some comedy. I thought this was interesting. This was one of the top posts on Reddit right now. It was kind of funny. Basically, scammer creates token and scams himself. I don't know, man. So basically, this guy was like posting on a support thread, says, "Hey, I created a token on PancakeSwap, but now I want my money back. It says I can't trade it back because the price impact is 2K. So basically, I lost $300. I'm like, huh? What did you want to do with that token, sir? Sir, what were you trying to do? But anyways, yeah. That's crypto for you. That is crypto for you. Now, in terms of upcoming projects, so who did I talk to this week? This week, I've also been a little bit busy. I've made 2 talks, or I talked to 2 projects. One is SingularityDAO. So SingularityDAO is quite an interesting concept. It's using AI, and I'm very, very careful about the use of AI because it's used everywhere, right? It's the biggest fad word right now. It's AI, DeFi, and DAOs, right? It's like the 3 hottest words right now. All right. But beyond the 3 big words and beyond the hype, what's quite important about this and what's interesting about this is that they're using AI, and the expert at this, right, is they're trying to use and deploy general AI to manage small altcoin cryptocurrency baskets, right? This is something quite interesting because at the end of the day, the AI field is growing exponentially, and there's many different types of AI, right? So there's AI that just looks like a traditional algorithm, right? But there's also general AI, which is kind of general artificial intelligence, which is the holy grail of AI, right? It's like can we replicate human intelligence? But anyways, I did speak with their CEO, Singularity, and so take me a sec. So DAO, SingularityDAO, not that it was with Ben, SingularityNet, SingNet, this guy. Yeah, okay, there we go. So I speak with Ben Gertzel. All right, he's this guy over here. He looks a little bit crazy, but he's very, very sharp, and he talked a lot about general AI, like his research in the space, and a lot of this work is built on his work, right? A lot of both Singularity is built on his work, and Singularity DAO is going to be based on his work on general intelligence. So it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit like it's one of those like kind of a little bit crazy things out there for general intelligence and AI to manage this. But anyways, that's what Singularity DAO is. They're coming up on both pools, and they're doing a sale soon, so definitely check that out. I was pretty enlightened by that, but it was kind of fun. Yep. Okay, so the other interesting thing that's going on, obviously, you guys probably know, I've been talking to AllianceBlock a lot, and AllianceBlock, they're doing something big that doesn't look big on paper. All right, so they partnered with GBG, which, yet again, it's not a big publicly known company, but GBG Group is basically a big KYC provider. They have clients like HSBC, like PayPal. Basically, they're used by the banking institutions to verify clients. Why is this important? Is because AllianceBlock, they're bridging that gap between traditional finance and decentralized finance. Right now, decentralized finance just completely blossomed over the past year. But of course, a lot of those investors right now in decentralized finance are people like me, people who believe in crypto, people who have looked at the space grow, and we have confidence in the space. But to allow new parties to come in, especially the traditional institutions, KYC needs to be done. That's just a fact, right? You cannot, you need to have that bridge between what is being currently regulated. If you want regulated entities to come in, you need that bridge. So what CBG does, and what they're doing and working with AllianceBlock means that AllianceBlock can get that KYC approval process, right? They can get their clients on board. They can make sure that everyone that's using the platform are KYC approved, and they can then seek investment from traditional finance. So this is kind of what matters here. This is what they're looking at, which is essentially building up a KYC entity, right? So yeah, so that's kind of the situation. And in terms of the partner, like in terms of what CBG does, is like they're literally working with people like Stripe, with Harrods, with Fujitsu, like these big brands, Nike, to get this done. And yeah, it's something that's a little bit more nuanced, but that's something that's quite important in the space. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like a lot of the non-sexy stuff, like this is what I would say would be like, it's not immediately obvious. Like if you would say that, Doge would be sexy because it's a meme and it's funny, this would be not sexy, but this would also build a foundation, lay the foundation works for that explosion in the next explosion in decentralized finance. All right, so let's see what else is up there. I'm gonna do some answers and Q&A right now. Let's see what's happening. UK can't KYC for SingularityDAO. That sucks. It's unfortunate, and I do want to say this too, right? So, KYC is a big issue right now. It's gonna be a problem that really plagues crypto for a while. Like getting these two systems to work together, and I think there's going to be better solutions. I think like we're still at a stage where we're deploying old concepts on new ideas, and I think we need to have a bridge somewhere. Like we'll have to basically the institutions that have been around like CBG, they're going to come in and they're probably going to either innovate on a solution or make a better solution to improve the KYC process. I think that's kind of the necessary next big step, to be honest. So, anyways, my 2 cents. Also, let's see. We'll also try to bring a lot more people onto this channel as well. So, we got Rob. I'm trying to invite Rob. I'm trying to get a lot of people back from our community into Crypto and Friends. I think that'll be really fun. So if you guys are interested, shoot me a shout out on Telegram. I'll try to arrange that to happen, and we'll just build that community. That's gonna be fun, right? That's gonna be our community right here. Let's see. All right, so let me just look at the chat. There's a lot going on. And take a little mental break here. Low. Well, this is one good thing about Crypto and Friends as well, because like something I realized when I'm doing Crypto and Friends show is that if there's 4 people talking, I can take a little bit of a break. When I do a stream myself, it's like my brain needs to be constantly looking at what's next and then reading comments and everything. And like I sometimes need a mental break on everything that's going on. So it's kind of insane. I want to do a shout out as well for Trustswap. They're launching the dFund project that's going to launch in literally 12 hours. So if you guys are into Trustswap, like sometimes you get very short notice for these things, right? So sometimes, especially with these launch pads. So what's going to happen is dFund is going to come up in around 12 hours. So if you guys are already into Trustswap, this is something that Jeff has been working very, very closely to get launched. They're basically, so personally, so I'll be honest here, I haven't fully looked into everything yet, but I know that Jeff has been working nonstop on getting these good projects onto Trustswap. So what dFund is it's basically loan platform on Polkadot, right? So that's essentially what it is. It's going to be allowing these investments to happen. It's going to happen in around 12 hours. So first of all, make sure you guys look into it. But if you guys are into Trustswap, raise amount is around $1.2 million. So there's plenty to go around and it's going to be fun. So big shout outs to Jeff. Like total respect for how hard he's working. I think it's one of those situations where with Trustswap, a lot of people were very doubtful at the start, but Jeff worked like nonstop, right? He's one of those people who can like, I don't know how he does it. Like, it was a situation this week. I was like, how do you do this? Like, I asked him, like, how do you do this? Like, how do you get good projects? How do you build this? Also, for Trustswap as well, Mint is coming up. I've basically told him, ASAP, when it's ready, show me, get this community preview of what's happening with Mint, because that is what I'm excited for. I made a video about that because that's going to bring a lot more legitimacy to the space as well. Because when people create new projects and coins, you see so many rug pulls just to bring crypto down. But with ability to just mint coins and lock them and prove that, that's power right there. So anyways, last thing, we have We have this Ispolink. So this is the last project I spoke to this week. So this is launching on DAO Maker. All right. So I told you guys I was looking at a lot of new projects coming up. This one's a little bit more interesting. It's not related to decentralized finance. Rather, it's related to recruitment. So it's targeting a segment very similar to LinkedIn, right? You guys know LinkedIn is unfortunately the de facto place to find jobs, right? But LinkedIn is so bloody broken, it's not even funny. A lot of times, LinkedIn completely relies on a person to provide their own credentials and trust. So for example, like on my LinkedIn profile, I can type whatever the hell they want. And one of the biggest attacks that I had on LinkedIn, unfortunately, was that people are claiming they work for Box Mining, because I have Box Mining is up there. There are people who just edit their profiles and claim they're working for Box Mining. And the worst part is I can't even remove that. I had to message LinkedIn and say, look, this guy does not work for me, right? And what they're doing, what these scammers are doing, is that they're saying that they work for Box Mining, and then they use my brand, and they're like, oh, check my LinkedIn profile, I work for Box Mining. All right, let's. Then they scam those projects for money. They're like, oh, if you want to work for Box Mining, pay me, right? Pay the scammer money. It's like stupid. It pisses me off. But anyways, Ispolink is solving that problem. It's bridging the. It's really allowing trust. So it's allowing candidates to get trust onto the network, and for that trust to be verified. So you can verify what people's credentials are going into that space. So I feel like that's kind of the value that they're trying to provide. It's basically providing verified education. It's trying to do that automated screening. It uses a bit of AI. I'm going to be very cautious of the word of AI here, because I don't know how deep they can use that AI, but they're using AI to try to weed out scammers, like the ones that are like scamming the credentials, saying that they were maybe graduated from a top university when they didn't. None of this is verified on LinkedIn. So yet again, this is a situation where I think that's a disruption. So Isolink is coming on DAO Maker. That's coming up quite soon as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. All right. Rob Crypto says, you can work for me. I'm looking for a personal chef and trainer. I got some perfect experience for you. This is my education right there. All right, guys. Rob, if you want burgers, hit me up. Right, hit me up, sir. Hit me up. I need to flip burgers sometime. All right. I need to make that, like, what is it? $10, $8 an hour. All right, just pay me the minimum. I'll be your slave. I know. Dubai, right? Dubai. Sorry. I'll see you there, man. Anyways, guys. That's it for today's episode, guys. I just have to apologize for something. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, guys, today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There's more coming next Monday. We're going to be live. We're going to see what's happening in the market. Maybe it's going to go crazy. But I hope you guys enjoy this crazy time, sirs. Crypto's been a little bit crazy. I'm being very thankful this week as well. Like just looking at crypto, like looking at Ethereum, like finally getting that validation that Ethereum is not a scam. I still remember, there were times when people were hating both Ethereum and BNB. I still remember Tone Vase calling that an absolute scam at $10. Now it's at 600. ETH fell to like 100, and now it's at 2,400. So so guys, thank you guys so much for watching today. There's plenty more coming soon, so make sure you smash up those likes, hit the little subscribe button. Crypto and Friends is going to be my next big focus. Bring more people onto this channel, talk to them. I think that was a super good video on Wednesday, and we're going to perfect and make that episode format a lot better, give you guys more insight into everything that's going on, invite other experts into this channel. I'm really excited for that. So guys, stay tuned, smash up the subscribe, smash up the likes. See you guys next stream. All right, see you guys. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the Box Mining ecosystem. first and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin Out of the Box. So just add that onto a playlist and then just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the Box Mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the Box Mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.